Ahoy hoy, I'm B-Side Berto. Welcome to a new series I'm going to do here in Settlement Survival. The episodes I do are a series of screenshots with a handful of video clips. The idea is to have a condensed video about 10 minutes or so you're not watching me play for a full hour. Starting a new game, I'm naming this town Froststone. I have disasters turned on, with a default of initial materials and structures standard. 18 people population starting off. I'm starting off with no cubs, 1 starting seed, and 3 tech points to start. For the map, I have a large size map with 2 large lakes and 2 rivers. For the map seed, I just hit random 3 times, and whatever map I get, I won't change. I won't change the layout, and I will not change the spawning points. This was a map that was randomly generated. Having a quick look around, this is kind of the area where I'm thinking about putting down. I want my first settlement to be around one of these 2 lakes. I've been playing on medium maps lately, so this is a lot larger. So kind of poking around. I'm not too picky about the bonus points where I get. I'm going to spread out eventually, as long as there's enough stone and rocks. There's a lot of good spots here, but I'm going to come down to here, and I'm going to hug this stone right there. I call my town Froststone, so that's going to be my linchpin, my key point going around. This spot here has 2 spots with initial starting seeds. Over here I can do an industrial area, there's enough mountains and a jade point. And from where I put it to the left, I got enough space to put at least 2 more marketplace areas down. And before I get everything set up, I do pause it. I have 3 technology points to start. I don't put them all in the same category, so I kind of spread them out. So my first one I use on the herbalist hut. My second one I use on compost. My goal is to get to farm rate efficiency as quick as I can, so this will help out. But since I don't put 2 in one category, I kind of bounce back between reed fields, sawmills, and mines. For this one, I will be needing mines more quicker than usual, but I do go with sawmill. The clinic and the chapel and 4 homes already come with the initial buildings. I used to play where you had to start building those on your own, so this is a little bit easier, and I'm kind of ahead already when I do this. Now that I put everything down, I clear the immediate area, and I put down a standard field. I've been putting these in the middle of the town because it's an 8x8. It's usually the size of a theater, so when I build that down the road, I already have a spot laid out for it. The first seed I have is lettuce. As a standard farm is being built, I put down a big well right next to it. As the well is being set up, I put down a latrine right behind the marketplace. At this point, I've sped it up to a speed of 5 speed, and I'll keep it here pretty much the rest of the game. I get a gatherer's hut, and I put it all the way in the corner. This is far from where I want, but it will be on its own for a while, and as long as food is coming in, I'm okay with that. I decided to put my dock next to the stone that I'm calling Froststone, which is the name of the town, but I put it on pause until it gets built. There's no boat on the timeline, so I can wait for that, but I do put a fishing dock next to it. To the right of the town, I'll put the sawmill. With the buildings available, the tailor, the chopping house, and for me the sawmill since I've got the technology, and a smithy for tools. I usually put 1 down each year to get things going. You start off with a lot of clothes and a lot of tools, but I do need the domestic fuel right away, so I start off with a sawmill first. As it gathers how it's finished, I make sure it only has one worker because I'm very minimal on laborers. Same with the fishing dock. Once it gets built, I make sure only one person's working in it to make sure I have as many laborers as possible, clearing out the area. The sawmill is complete. I selected the domestic fuel, and I'm now down to one laborer at this point. I get another seed, and I get flax seeds. With the initial area I cleared out, I start clearing out more around it, and I'm going for this seed point to see if I can get anything from it. Since we're getting to the back half of the year and the temperatures are starting to fall, I only gather plants at this point. I want to get as much food as possible to avoid any starvation. I put down a repair shop right next to the marketplace. Froststone's first technology point, I put it on the farm. Now that the first year is over, I go through all my buildings to see how much production I got. And I only have one person in most of these buildings, so I'm not expecting a lot of production. But the gatherer's hut collected a fair amount for what it was. Not so much on the sawmill, but I've already done 8 in the first month of the new year, and I only had 40 last year. I already did 20% of what I did last time. Got 144 fish from the fishing dock, and the standard field, which was there the entire year for the whole season, got over 500 food. As spring of year 2 comes around, I put down a smithy. When the smithy's built, I put it for iron tools. Iron and stone are going to be an issue. I am clearing up around the area, but I do recognize I need to put a quarry and a mine quicker than the other builds that I've had. Behind the sawmill, I put down a hunter's hut. After I finished building the dock, I did put it on pause so that there was no worker in there, and I did put a town hall right across from it. And with the town hall, the first thing I do is hit the policy and ban raw water. I've forgotten to do this a few times, and a lot of people got really sick, and I couldn't figure out why. This is one of those early things to do to avoid all that. The hunter hut gets finished building, and I make sure it only has one worker. Another seed comes in with coffee. I like having coffee early because it's something I can trade. I see the first merchant ship come through on the timeline, and I realize it's on the other side of the map. So that's something I had to keep in mind, that when I see it come through, it may take a while. And as winter comes on year 2, I get another seed with peas. I've already selected it for next year to start peas because it's a higher production than lettuce. The first merchant ship makes its way to the dock, and I ended up not getting anything. I probably should have got sewing techniques, the book, but I only have 3,000 coins, and I want to keep as much as I can for later on. As year 2 comes to a close, I put it on pause. I'm going to end it here. You can kind of see where we've ended off. I build homes to the left of my marketplace area. So far, one's empty, which is kind of where I want to be. I want to make sure there's at least one home always there for people to get into. I put a well and a latrine and a repair shop in the town center. The chapel and the clinic were already part of the initial buildings. I also can compare what I produced last year to this year to see how the buildings are doing. Again, all of them only have one worker in them, so they're going to be low turnout. My fishing dock, I had 144 last year, 192. That's not too bad. I made a hell of a lot more domestic fuel, which I need and I'm still short on. The hunter's hut just got built not that long ago, so this is all fresh. But feathers and leather are something I can also trade early on. The gatherer's hut is producing, but it's farther away and only one worker. This will be slightly problematic. But as I fill out the town with more homes, it'll be a lot easier for this to function. And when settlers come through and I get a higher population, this will be something I put more people in right away. And as this episode ends, I have a population of 30. I do have 12 kids. I do not have a school yet. That's something I will do next episode. A school and a tailor for clothes. My health and happiness are still in the green. I have noticed turkey walking around. I expect this to be the first animal I get. I did not start off with any animal or livestock, so I'm expecting to get turkey. I also see these animals walking around, and with their hunter's hut just put down, I'm expecting to get a lot of venison and leather because of these animals. Thanks for watching this first episode of Froststone. Stay tuned to see how this develops. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to put them down in the comment section. Take care and have a good one.